NFL Week 3 Sunday is behind us, but we still do have Monday Night Football. Going to be breaking down two six-pick plays that I did lock in myself last night that I did send over to my VIP members for you guys in this one. The same process that went into these plays that you're seeing on the screen right here. If you're wondering why the heck did this guy click the over, the under on the buttons on the props that he's taking, these videos are going to be a fantastic way to go ahead and break that down, tell you everything that's going into the process. Unfortunately, this was the sweep we were banking on this weekend. Needed the Chase McLaughlin over 1.5 field goals to completely green this baby out, and the Buccaneers just could not move the football against the Broncos. It was quite irritating, but overall, these are the kind of results you want to see on your screen. This is always the goal. And as I stated, these videos are going to go ahead and break it down. Our big hitter this weekend over in the VIP was on the college football action. We did cash in big on this baby, so that made us happy with a nice full 6-pick dynamic sweep over on Betr. So I'll be breaking down the process of some different concepts that went into this pick. College football, NFL, I do use some of the same concepts. Was able to turn 100 into 2,000 on this one. We did have another close one over on Betr as well with the NFL action that unfortunately came up just short. This one right here, another 6-pick dynamic. I would have turned 250 into 5,000 if Andy Dalton had thrown an interception. But point being, all of the results you're seeing right here, it's the same process, right? Obviously, I have some tickets that are going to turn red as well. But it's the same exact process that's going into these plays that you're going to see. Andy Dalton interception was the one that let us down. Unfortunately, he didn't come through. Henry scored a touchdown. Kyron Williams crushed his rushing attempts. Chuba Hubbard crushed his rushing attempts. Aaron Jones crushed his rushing attempts. Barkley crushed his fantasy score. And, of course, Andy Dalton didn't quite come through with the interception. So just showing you some results from this weekend. Missed 2 sweeps by 1, man, on the NFL action. Luckily, that college football action did come through for us. So if you're looking to get access to every single one of these plays, as soon as I place them, guys, the KJK VIP member package is going to be where it's at. These are actual KJK VIP plays that I'm sharing. Just keep in mind it's one ticket, right? So for the big Sunday slates, I share with you guys one ticket. Tonight, I'll be sharing with you guys one ticket. One of the plays you're not going to be able to get, unfortunately, it didn't get taken off the board. Actually, my play of the day I sent in last night because this play had crazy good value. So my play of the day this weekend was on NFL Sunday was the Derrick Henry touchdown. That cashed. Tonight, it's going to be Brenton Strange over 2.5 receptions. The problem is, if you're not in my VIP package, you're not going to be able to get this play any longer because this thing had such good value. They've gone ahead and just completely taken it off the board. So the other 5 plays you can still get as of now. I'm going to go ahead and share them with you guys here for free on the channel. You will need 2 different apps to tail these plays. You're going to need the Betr app. If you don't have it, guys, go ahead and get it right now. They're going to match you all the way up to $200 with my promo code, okay? It's going to be a $200 deposit match. I will have that linked down below in the description as well. If you use my link, it'll auto-apply my code. But you can just type in KJKDFest, they're going to match you up to $200. Or if you use my link down below, they're going to match you up to $200 with that promo code. And then the other app we're going to be talking about is going to be Prizepicks, which if you do sign up for the Prizepicks app with my link or my code KJKDFS, they are going to give you a nice offer as well here. When you play $5, you're going to get $50 instantly. Okay, so let's go ahead and break this bad boy down. Talk about exactly what we're playing here on this slate tonight. I'm going for a double sweep, meaning I'm trying to sweep on not just Betr, but also on Prizepicks with the same exact 6-pick. That's what I decided to do. We have 2 NFL games tonight, so it's going to be a beauty. One with a 45.5 total, one with a 47 total. And let's go ahead and pull this thing up, and let's talk about exactly what we're rocking with here for these plays tonight. Once again, guys, these are going to be the same exact props, so I'll go ahead and pull up the Betr app. The one difference we're going to be having is the payouts, okay? So on Betr, we're running a 6-pick dynamic play on Betr, and we're running a 6-pick flex on Prizepicks. So I just want to summarize, there's going to be a difference here. you're someone that likes to minimize your risk, I'd recommend locking this in on Betr. If you get 4 correct, you're still going to profit your money. If you get 6 correct, you're going to 20x your money. So this is the breakdown. If you get 4 to 6 correct, you're going to get 1.05x back. 5 correct, you're going to get 1.25x correct back. 6, you're going to get 20x back. You get what I'm saying. This is the dynamic payout summary. It's 20x if you get 6, 1.25x if you get 5, 4 if you get 1.05x. These are going to be the exact same props on this app and Prizepicks. If the lines move, for instance, on Prizepicks, one of these plays get bumped, or on Betr, by the time you see this video, you could just go ahead and take it on the other app and get the better value, right? Let's say Joe Burrow or McPherson changes to like 8.0 even on Prizepicks. You could go ahead and go on over to Betr and get him at that better line. So that's why you want to have 2 apps so you can get the better line and the different payouts. You might prefer that the 4 out of 6 correct, you're getting your money back and more on Betr compared to Prizepicks, where if we go ahead and break down their payout here, 4 out of 6 correct, you're actually going to lose money. You're going to get 0.4x of your money back. 5 out of correct, you will get 2x though, so that's going to be more than the 5 out of 6 on Betr. And then 6 out of 6, you're going to get 25x back, okay? So that's the only difference is going to be payout here tonight because we are going to be talking about the same props. Brenton Strange, this prop is not available on the board anymore, unfortunately. Okay, guys, so you are no longer going to be able to get the Brenton Strange prop. They've gone ahead and taken it off because it has such good value. Actually, it's up to 3 even now. All right, so here's a perfect example of taking advantage of good value before it moves. It wasn't even available this morning when I woke up. I locked this in last night at, you can see, on 8:40 p.m. Eastern time. That's when I locked it in and sent it over. So let's just break down this prop. The first tool that I like to use to break down my props, guys, is going to be Outlier. If you do not have Outlier, I would highly recommend you check them out. I've partnered up with them to hook you guys up with a completely 7-day free trial. All you have to do is use my link down below. They're going to give you 7 days completely free using these tools and all the value that it provides. I'm going to show you exactly how to use them in this content. If I go ahead and sort this by implied probability, this is what I like to do. This is going to automatically sort the Brenton Strange props, every prop that he has, and give us the highly likelihood that these props are going to hit in order. 61% hit rate is his best prop. It's the over 2.5 receptions. This is crazy good on Prizepicks, man. This is insanely good. On FanDuel, Bet365, DraftKings, all of these sports books, if you're new to sports betting, you're going to have to log into these apps and risk a certain amount to win a certain amount. On Prizepicks, we're getting minus 119 implied odds. What this means, if it's minus, this means if you log into the DraftKings app right now, because they're saying it's so likely that Brenton Strange goes over 2.5 receptions, you're going to have to risk $180 to win $100. You're going to have to risk way more than you're going to win because they're saying it's so likely that he's going to go to over 2.5 receptions. We're going to make you risk way more, okay? Brenton Strange, 6 targets, 13% of the team's target share. What's the big deal is Evan Ingram is their normal starting tight end. He went down with an injury. So Strange just stepped in here to fill the role. We're talking about a guy that was targeted massively when he stepped in. So I had a ton of interest in this prop. Unfortunately, you can't get it anymore. But I just want to kind of explain the reasoning as to why I locked that bad boy in, why it was my play of the day. I saw in real time some of the markets had it at 2.5. Some of the markets had it all the way up to 3.5. I wanted to lock that in like as soon as possible. So here's an example of, my process being on point, beating these bumps, beating the lines changing. You can see in real time, like Strange was taken off the board and then bumped up. Okay, so he was my first one, just massively favored. The second one's going to be the Joe Burrow over 3.5 rush attempts. We can go ahead and analyze this bad boy using Outlier once again. If we type in Joe Burrow, we can sort by implied probability again. Keep in mind, this tool is going to bring in every single possible prop you can get on all sports books. So like some of these are going to be available on Prizepicks, some of them aren't, right? We're taking advantage of the props that are heavily favored, good value on Prizepicks in 6-pick flexes, which is the optimal slip type, because we're getting minus 119 implied odds. We once again have a ton of different sports books favoring Joe Burrow to go over 3.5 rush attempts. Something I always talk about when you're targeting QB's rushing attempts props on these apps, guys, if you didn't know, when the QB kneels the ball, as a matter of fact, I cashed this this Derek Carr prop this weekend on him kneeling the ball. Well, one of the rush attempts was him kneeling the ball at halftime to go into the half. It counts as a rush attempt. So if you didn't know that, when you're targeting these QB rushing attempt props, you would prefer for his team to be favored, so he's kneeling the ball at the end of the game when they win. And Joe Burrow in the Cincinnati Bengals are massive favorites. They're minus 350 favorites. It's the same American odd concepts I discussed. You'd have to risk $350 to win $100 if you're going to bet on the Cincinnati Bengals to win the game tonight, which is obviously you're risking way more than you're winning. That's just how these odds work. They're expected to win by a wide margin here. So that's all factored into these player props odds, but I do want to make that known. I always talk about it because we're going to talk about Josh Allen's rushing attempts too, where they're minus 250 favorites. That could be the difference at the end of the game. Joe Burrow kneels the ball down a couple times after rushing a couple times throughout, regulation. You're cashing that prop. So I always bring that up when targeting QB rushing attempts props, because if you're new to this and you don't know how the stats are tracked, you might not know that. Joe Burrow has exceeded 3.5 rushing attempts in 5 of his last 6 games, averaging 4.5 rushing attempts per game on average. He's hitting that at an 83% hit rate. So obviously, if we're targeting this prop, we need him to run the ball. It's pretty simple. He just needs to attempt to rush the ball out of the backfield, which he's been doing pretty consistently. And I do just want to continue to bring up when we're targeting the over on rushing attempts for QBs. It's a big added bonus if the team's favored, because those kneel downs at the end of the game can really be the difference. So that's going to be play number 2. Really do like that prop for the Joe Burrow. And then the another tool that I like to use is the Daily Grind Fantasy Optimizer, guys. I talk about Outlier. I'm going to talk about Daily Grind. They do bring in every single prop on the board for all of these players, and that same expected odds to hit probability that I discussed, they're going to bring in for you. They are now saying this is the 3rd best prop on the board for Joe Burrow. I believe it was the best at the time I locked in this ticket, because there does look like there's some value popping on his under passing attempts. But if you see right here, the over 3.5 rushing attempts, he's up to minus 125 DraftKings, minus 120 on BetMGM, minus 131 on Caesars. It's these same concepts. And then they're bringing in the 3 different other DFS apps in Hot Streak, Fliff, and Parlay Play. More data if you play on these DFS props apps. They're also all favoring Joe Burrow to go over here. This tool is very helpful for finding value. KJKDFS link down below will get you a discount on this tool as well. I'm trying to bring you as many resources as I possibly can. And the other one you'll hear me talk about is OddsJam. That Brenton Strange prop, I did kind of want to bring up the OddsJam Sportsbook screen here because it's going to bring in every single possible book under the sun. You're going to see he was bumped up to 3 even on Prizepicks. Once again, it's minus 119 implied odds, guys. Guys, he's all the way up to minus 176 on Pinnacle to go over 2.5 receptions. Pinnacle's the sharpest sportsbook in the world. They're known to be the best. They accept winning sports bettors. Their business model is set around setting the best lines rather than like limiting winning sports bettors. A lot of these other books, once you start to win, they're not going to let you bet as much money. So this prop was just insane, man. He's all the way up to 165 in the over on DraftKings. I sent this in immediately as my play of the day last night. I knew the market was shifting towards the 3.5, and he was still favored at the 2.5. This is just a phenomenal example of targeting right time. You can track the results tonight for yourself, see if he hits this prop. I think he's going to absolutely crush this easily. So this is just a real-time example of kind of the value I can provide you over in the VIP and just attacking at the right time, right? Because you can't get this prop any longer. They're going to shift the props on Prizepicks. It's just how it goes when you get good value. So, but yeah, those Joe Burrow rushing attempts, man, going to be another prop that I'm on here. So we talked about Strange. We talked about Joe Burrow. That's going to be the second prop that I went ahead and locked in on this 6-pick flex. Third's going to be Khalil Shakir. Let's go ahead and break this down. You're going to see some market data, some different statistics, as always with my plays that are going to all back this. So Outlier is helping me bring that all in for you guys here. Khalil Shakir, let's sort it by implied probability. For his receptions prop, the over 3.5. Keep in mind, we're getting minus 119 implied odds on Prizepicks. Okay, guys? Every single time we take in a 5-pick flex or 6-pick flex, which, by the way, Strange got removed, so you guys are going to have to take a 5-pick flex if you're tailing this, or play the Strange bump. I don't recommend playing bumps, but it's free content. Khalil Shakir, over 3.5 receptions. Completely new role on this team this year, okay? They do not have Stephon Diggs anymore. Khalil Shakir has led the entire team in target share. 8 targets on the season. That accounts for 19.5% of the targets. That's more than Dalton Kincaid, more than Keon Coleman, more than James Cooks, Curtis Samuel, Matt Collins. So Shakir's clearly taken over as, the top guy so far in target share. And he gets a phenomenal matchup, taking on an opposing Jacksonville team that's been terrible overall. They're 23rd in the entire NFL in receptions allowed. And then if we can look at the exact position of the wide receiver position, which is what Shakir plays, they're 29th in the entire league. Okay, 32 NFL teams, 29th. That's really bad. They're allowing 15.5 receptions per game to opposing wide receivers. So Outlier does a really good job of bringing in all that data, that statistics, and this is why I talk about it's really valuable to be looking at sportsbooks odds. They know all these statistics, right? They're factoring that all into their models, right? So the other tool that you see me bring up is, once again, the Daily Grind Fantasy Optimizer. They're going to bring in all of that different data straight to the point, as many data points as you can possibly get, right? We want to be looking at the odds that this is the best possible prop on the board for Shakir with a 50.86% hit chance to hit, minus 125 in the over on DraftKings. He's all the way up to minus 149 on Hot Streak, minus 131 on Parlay Play. Once again, some more DFS apps where if you were to log in over there, you're having to risk way more than you'd have to risk on Prizepicks. So let's go ahead and take advantage on the Prizepicks platform. As far as Betr Picks is concerned, it's around the same implied odds, so I do want to make that known, right? It's kind of the same concepts. I know that Prizepicks is kind of the more popular one, but it's very similar in odds, okay? We're looking at like minus 120 implied odds on these plays that I'm discussing, right? So those are the first two that are still available. We talked about that Strange prop. It's no longer on the board, but Strange, Burrow, Shakir, Evan McPherson over 7.5 kicking points going to be the next prop that we're going to talk about. Let's go ahead and type him into the GGF Optimizer right now so you can see in real time these different, sportsbooks favoring his over. McPherson, it's starting to climb even more, I think, since I locked this in. Possibly we could see this get moved up. Minus 125 on the over on FanDuel, DraftKings, minus 131 on Caesars, minus 135 on Flip, minus 137 on Hot Streak. He's favored on all of these different sportsbooks. The Bengals have the highest implied total tonight out of any team, which is all factored into these odds, of course. Same thing I talked about with like Shakir, right? I brought up the odds, and then we look at the Jacksonville secondary. They're giving up a ton of receptions. They're ranked as like one of the worst defenses in the NFL. The sportsbooks know this. It's all reflected in their odds. So McPherson's the kicker for the Cincinnati Bengals. You get, for those of you that don't know how kicking points work, you get 1 point for every extra point, and then you get 3 points for every field goal. I don't know if Prizepicks actually brings that up. They have the kicker fantasy score. Kicking points is actually on sportsbooks as well, but that's how it works, okay? So you get 1 point for every extra point that the kicker makes and 3 points for every field goal that he makes. So his line's set at 7.5 here tonight, right? I mean, 2 field goals is going to move him up to 6 kicking points, 2 extra points, and he's at 8, he cashes his over, right? Or 3 field goals, or 4 extra points and a field goal. It doesn't matter how we get it. That's how it's going to break down, right? Obviously, realistically, we're going to need 2 field goals, ideally, and then any extra points we get along the way are going to help us just add further on that. But there's so many ways that you can get it, especially with the 27.25 implied team total. If they want to go out there and score 7 touchdowns, we don't care. All we care is that he continues to go over that prop. So McPherson, favorite on all these different sports books. We like that. We got Brian Robinson Jr. over 13.5 rush attempts. He's on the other side of this game. The only thing that isn't too ideal is if we're taking the over on a player's rushing attempts, we would prefer for his team to be favorited because if they get up in the game, they're going to continue to run the ball. But still like the prop, still good value. And it's not like the Bengals are huge totals. They are pretty big favorites, but we're not talking like, 3 touchdowns kind of deal or just complete blowout. Still kind of within a touchdown frame. So I think the Commanders' game plan is going to be kind of trying to keep this game close, keeping the ball on the ground and keeping the ball out of Joe Burrow's hands as much as they can to just kind of claw that win out of him. You know what I mean? So I'm comfortable targeting this prop with the Brian Robinson over rush attempts, and all the odds are going to factor all that stuff in. I continuously say it, but it's just true. Let's go ahead to his rushing attempts. And if we're taking a rushing attempts prop, we obviously would prefer that the players, getting the majority of the rushing plays and his team's running a decent amount. And we do have that with this Washington squad, running 52% of the time. The rush share for this squad, Brian Robinson's getting 44.6% of the rushes. Jaden Daniels, 40%. Austin Eckler's all the way down to 15.4%. Eckler's a pass-catching back that they're just going to bring in, for those pass plays. If we have a secondary back that's really cutting into the workload for a running back, we also hate that. We want, obviously, to hit our props, so we want the rushing attempts just coming from that one guy. We do have that here tonight with Brian Robinson. So I like that a lot. 44% of the share. Jaden Daniels is a rushing QB, so they're factoring in that as well. And surprise, surprise, Sportsbook's favoring is over. It's at minus 119 on Prizepicks, all the way up to minus 130 on DraftKings, all the way up to minus 131 on Caesars, right? So we're getting a really good bang for our buck on Prizepicks, where he's minus 119. We would much rather attack him there. We can type it into the DGF optimizer as well. Best possible prop on the board for Brian Robinson is his over 13.5 rush attempts as of now, with a 51.67% hit rate to hit. Same thing, minus 131 on Caesars, minus 135 on DraftKings is the latest odds, actually. And then he's all the way up to 14.5 on HotStreak. So DGF is going to go ahead and factor it in, right? We're looking at the entire DFS apps and sportsbook market. Clearly, there's value to be had on the over 13.5. Oftentimes, if the prop is shifted up to like 14.5, the value might actually shift down to the under, believe it or not. It's just that's how precise these lines are, that he might end with 14 rushing attempts exactly. Like, it happens all the time. So, more value, more data points, bringing in all this, right? I talked about it at the beginning of the video. It's the same process that went into these plays. We're analyzing the market. We're attacking it, right? All of this different market data is factoring in all of these different things. We talked about McPherson's kicking points and how the Bengals have a huge total. We talked about how the Bengals are favored at minus 350, and we have Joe Burrow's over QB rushing attempts, and if he kneels the ball at the end of the game, those count as rushing attempts. FanDuel, DraftKings, all these companies know this, guys. Okay? So, yeah, Brian Robinson Jr. And then last but certainly not least, we got the Josh Allen over 6.5 rush attempts. This guy just loves to run the football. And there's going to be a bunch of different data backing that bad boy up here tonight. Josh Allen, implied probability over here on Outlier. What are some of his best props? So you got the over first downs. It's not available on Prizepicks. Under passing touchdowns. But once again, it's not available on Prizepicks. This is going to be one of the best apps, or one of the best props, I should say, for him that is available on Prizepicks is going to be the rushing attempts. And we're going to be rocking with the over. Some insights here. Has exceeded 6.5 rushing attempts in 5 straight home games. He's been crushing it, as a matter of fact, at home, putting up 9.6 rushing attempts per game. Hey, man, he likes to put on for the home crowd, I guess you could say. And the other thing is, good chance the Bills, win the majority of their games at home. So those rushing attempts at the end of the game I keep discussing throughout the video. The Buffalo team running 57% of the time. You look at the rush share, James Cook getting 50.8% of those. Josh Allen, 18.6%. He's the QB. Naturally, he's going to get less, than the running backs, but he's still getting a 20% share. Similar to kind of what we talked about with Jaden Daniels. Running quarterbacks are going to get a little bit of that rushing share. Their running backs can get a little bit more of them. We got another running back QB combo here with this team. And Daily Grind, let's see what they got for us, right? What are the implied probability? What is this pulling in? Looks like the best possible prop you could take on Josh Allen now is his under 0.5 interceptions. If you want to lock that in, that wasn't available last night to me. Third best is going to be this rushing attempts prop. 51.7% chance that he hits the over. Minus 120 on DraftKings, all the way up to minus 130 on BetMGM, minus 133 on Caesars. Minus 135. Aggressively favored on HotStreak, you got minus 144. So you get the point. His team is favored. I'll continue to bring that up. I just want people that watch my content to learn things that they might not be able to learn elsewhere. So if I can teach you something, give you a little extra edge in your props, the fact that we're getting those Josh Allen kneel downs at the end of the game and the Joe Burrow kneel downs at the end of the game make me happy. If they win the game like they're supposed to, right? If they don't win the game, they're not going to be kneeling the ball at the end. But we're banking on them doing that, cashing these props, running throughout regulation, and cashing in for this full 6-pick flex on Prizepicks. And I did lock it in on Betr as well, guys. I am all in on these 6 plays. I'm trying to turn 400 into 10,000 on the Prizepicks app, and I am trying to turn 250 into 5,000 over on the Betr app. I'll repeat, if you're someone that kind of prefers to, limit your risk, I would recommend locking this in over on Betr. Take advantage of that deposit match up to $200. You could even go bigger on this play because of the fact that if you only get 4 correct, you're getting your money back. If you feel a little bit comfortable with that, this is how that payout shift is going to go, or that payout breakdown is going to go on Betr. You see the results. 4 out of 6 correct. I'm still going to get $260, $250 back. So I'm not going to make a ton of money, but I'll profit $12.50. I'm not losing any money, so that's great. And it's the same exact prop. So we got that strange over 2.5 receptions. That's not available on Betr either anymore. Unfortunately, guys, it got taken off the board. But the other ones are all going to be available still as of the time I'm recording this. Shakir over 3.5 receptions. Josh Allen over 6.5 rushing attempts. Joe Burrow over 3.5 rushing attempts. McPherson over kicking points. Brian Robinson over 13.5 rushing attempts. So you can see it's the same combo. Only difference is going to be that payout breakdown. And then as far as Prizepicks, it's the same props. Just keep in mind, it is different payouts. This is going to be the payout breakdown. 25x if you get 6 out of 6, 2x if you get 5 out of 6, and 0.4x you're going to be losing some money. Getting a little bit back, but losing some money if you only go 4 to 6 on Prizepicks. So keep that in mind. Hopefully you enjoyed the content. If you did, guys, would be greatly appreciated if you hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell before you head out the door. If you want access to all of those VIP plays as soon as I place them, the VIP package is going to be where it's at. You would have got access to that nice college football sweep that we hit on this weekend as soon as I placed it over in the VIP. So that was our big winner this weekend, that nice 6-pick. Fully greened out here. That's all going to be sent over to you as soon as I place it, right? All right, guys, so thanks for tuning in. Wishing you all the best of luck on your Betr NFL player props, your Prizepicks NFL player props tonight for this Monday Night Football action, and we will see you in the next one.